Shabbat Shalom, my friends, and welcome back to our reading. We're going to continue from where we left off last week, which was with Bereshit 25, or Genesis 25, which brings us to Genesis 26. And if we remember, where we left off last week was Genesis 25. Jacob gave Esau bread and a stew of lentils, and he ate and drank and rose up and left. Thus Esau despised his birthright. We ended right there, and I want to touch on a little bit. There are stories being told, I don't know how to put it, whether it's non-canonicals or a little backstory. Lentils are round. The lentil stew, it was actually viewed or written that Esau was the one that was supposed to be cooking the stew. It was a stew of mourning because Isaac was nearing death. Isaac was about to be called home. He was about to be called to his people. He was about to be gathered to his people. So Esau, being the elder brother, was supposed to be the one that made the stew, but it was Jacob that made it, because Esau has a history of just being a wild man. He's out hunting. He was viewed as someone that was not doing his duties. He disobeyed his mother and father's wishes on who to marry. He married outside of what was prescribed by Elohim. We'll find out later, so let's not jump too far ahead, but let us drink. Coffee, kofifi. And we shall begin. And there's going to be some page flipping. No, don't drop the glasses. There's going to be page flipping today. So we're going to touch upon, because there's some really key points in Genesis, in Bereshit 26. And there was a scarcity of food in the land, besides the first scarcity of food, which was in the days of Abraham and Isaac. Isaac went to Abimelech, sovereign of the Philistines, in sorry. I digress. But scarcity of food, potentially number two. The scarcity of food, something that we need to be aware of, that numerous times food becomes scarce. Kind of one reason why maybe we should stock food to the rafters. Just a little preparation, little concept. 26:2. And Yahweh appeared to him and said, do not go down to Mitzrayim. Live in the land which I command you. Sojourn in the land, and I shall be with you and bless you. For I give all these, page flip, for I give all these lands to you and your seed, and I shall establish an oath which I swore to Abraham your father. So we're going to stop right there a little bit, and we're going to go to Isaiah 43:5. So a little page flipping. Little Isaiah 43:5, because we're going to touch a little bit about some of this and how this word jumps around. So 26:3, sojourn in this land, and I shall be with you and bless you. That's key right there, because if we go to Isaiah 43:5, do not fear, for I am with you. I shall bring your seed from the east and gather you from the west. And we could also go to Genesis 28:15. We'll jump ahead here. If we go to 28:15, And see, I am with you, and shall guard you wherever you go, and shall bring you back to this land. For I am not going to leave you until I have done what I have spoken to you. That's some powerful messaging right there. So with 26:3, we can see we have connections to Isaiah 43:5 and Genesis 28:15, among a bunch of others. As we continue with Genesis 26:4, which will bring us to another important topic here. And I shall increase your seed, singular, like the stars of the heavens, and I shall give all these lands to your seed, singular. And in your seed, all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. With that, we have connections in Acts 3:25. So if you jump to Acts 3:25, a little page flipping. I know, you didn't expect that today. Acts 3:25. So if we go to Acts 3:25, you are sons of the prophets and of the covenant which Elohim made with our fathers, saying to Abraham, and in your seed all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. There we go. Connection. And if you go to First Colossians, when you go to First Corinthians, oh my gosh. First Corinthians, the words today, 7:2. First Corinthians 7:2. Okay, scratch that. My mistake. I jumped. We go to Galatians 3:16. I jumped. I'm so sorry. I missed it. Yep. That's on a different section. First Corinthians is addition sections. Oh boy, I'm glad I caught that before I read it. Galatians 3:16. But the promises were spoken to Abraham and to his seed. He does not say and to seeds as of many, but as of one, and to your seed, who is Messiah. Woo, powerful right there. And we'll continue. Genesis 6:5. Because Abraham obeyed my voice and guarded my charge, my commands, my laws, and my Torah. That's singular of Torah. It's Torot. It's the plural. Sorry, it is Torah, the plural of the Torah, the teachings. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar. And when the men of the place asked about his wife, he said, she is my sister, for he was afraid to say she is my wife, thinking lest the men of this place should kill me for Rebekah, because she is good looking. We covered that. We covered that last week. Rebekah was a hottie, so she was good looking. We have to specify that. And it came to be when he had been there a long. I want to bounce back a little bit more. So, father like son, didn't Abraham say that about Sarah? Oh, she is my sister, not my wife, because I'm afraid you guys are going to kill me because I don't know if you follow Yahweh. Isaac doing the same thing as his father did. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree there now, does it? Yep. And we will continue. Genesis 26:8. And it came to be, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, sovereign of the Philistines, looked through a window, and he watched and saw Isaac playing with Rebekah, his wife. Gotta wonder, he was playing with his wife. And so Abimelech called Isaac and said, see, truly she is your wife. So how could you say she is my sister? And Isaac said to him, because I said, lest I die on account of her. And Abimelech said, what is this you have done to us? one of the people had almost lain with your wife, and you would have brought guilt on us. And Abimelech commanded all his people, saying, he who touches this man or his wife shall certainly be put to death. And Isaac sowed in that land and reaped in the same year 100-fold, and Yahweh blessed him. And the man grew great and went forward until he became very great. And he came to have possessions of flocks and possessions of herds and a great body of servants, and the Philistines envied him. Ooh, contention's coming up. And the Philistines had stopped up all the wells which his father's servants had dug in the days of Abraham, his father, and filled them with dirt. So the Philistines are now going around filling all his wells that Abraham had dug. Owning a well was a sign of power and wealth in those days. They're stopping him up. This is going to lead to some problems. And then the Philistines, Hebrew, Philistines, this, we look into modern times, we can see this is like a 3,000-year-old battle between the Philistines, Palestine, and the Hebrews, the sons of Israel, the tribes of Israel. This has been going on for a long time. Yeah. And Abimelech said to Isaac, go away from us, for you are much mightier than we. Exodus 1:9. So if you jump to Exodus 1:9, which is quite interesting here. So Abimelech, king of the Philistines, are telling Isaac, Scoots, get out of here. You are much mightier than we. We are stronger than you. And if we look to Exodus 1:9, and he said to his people, see, the people of the children of Israel are more and stronger than we. Come, let us act wisely toward them, lest they increase. And it shall be, when fighting befalls us, that they shall join our enemies and fight against us, and shall go up out of the land. This is Pharaoh talking about Israel. They were growing too strong. And how did Pharaoh handle that? Yeah, he started executing the children. So we continue with Genesis 26:17. So Isaac went from there and pitched his tent in the Wadi Gerar, and dwelt there. And Isaac dug again the wells of water which they had dug in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them up after the death of Abraham, and he called them by the names which his father had called them. But when Isaac's servants dug in the wadi and found a well of running water there, the herdsmen of Gerar strove with Isaac's herdsmen, saying, the water is ours. And he called the name of the well Esek, because they strove with him. There was contention. And they dug another well, and they strove over that one too, and he called its name Sitnah. And he moved from there and dug another well, and they did not strive over it. And he called its name Rehoboth, and said, for now Yahweh has made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. So every time Isaac was digging a well, the Philistines would come over, and they kept stopping him up, kept throwing rocks and filling him up. Dig a hole, fill it up, dig a hole, fill it up, until they finally got to a point where the Philistines stopped doing this. 26:23. And from there he went up to Beersheba, and Yahweh appeared to him the same night and said, I am the Elohim of your father Abraham. Do not fear, for I am with you, and shall bless you and increase your seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And he built a slaughter place there, and called on the name of Yahweh. And he pitched his tent there, and the servants of Isaac dug a well there. And Abimelech came to him from Gerar with Hazuath, one of his friends, and Picholi, the commander of his army. And Isaac said to him, Why have you come to me, seeing you have hated me and have sent me away from you? But they said, We have clearly seen that Yahweh is with you. And we said, Please, let there be an oath between us, between you and us, and let us make a covenant with you, that you do no evil to us, as we have not touched you, and as we have done only good towards you, and have sent you away in peace. You are now blessed by Yahweh. And he made them a feast, and they ate and drank, and they rose early in the morning and swore an oath with one another, and Isaac let them go, and they departed from him in peace. Yeah, Abimelech's like, this guy's, we better make some peace here. This is gonna bite us in the butt. So they made a covenant, which is good. They hashed it out. They had a feast. They drank, they ate. If only more disagreements could be solved through feasting, drinking, and eating. And they rose early in the morning and swore an oath with one another, and Isaac let them go, and they departed from him in peace. And on the same day it came to be that the servants of Isaac came and informed him about the well which they had dug, and said to him, We have found water. So he called it Sheba. Therefore, the name of the city is Beersheba to this day. Genesis 26:34. And when Esau was 40 years old, he took as wives Yehudith, the daughter of Berai the Hittite, and Basemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. Now, this is Elon the Hittite, not Elon the Musk. There's a big difference. We've got to be clear on that. And they were a bitterness of spirit to Isaac and Rebekah. So Esau, I'm going to scoot here. So Esau has taken wives from the Hittites. Esau is taking wives from the tribes that he was told by his parents and Yahweh, do not take wives from these, but he did. Also, Esau's kind of dropping the ball. This dude's 40 years old, still living in mom and dad's basement. He's not living on his own. He's not manning up. We're going to find this out next week, because there's some issues. But if we see what's going on here, if we go to Hebrews 12:16, and this is dealing with Esau and his not getting his act together. Thessalonians, Philippians, Hebrews 12:16, Paul's letters to the Hebrews, which Hebrews is kind of an interesting thing. Hebrews wasn't written by Paul. Possibly Hebrews was written by, his name escapes me, Barnaby, one of Paul's friends, but they had a falling out too. So, but Hebrews 12. So Hebrews was written in Paul's style, but it was not written by Paul. So Hebrews 12:16, if we go there, we can see some stuff. Lest there be anyone who whores or profane one, like Esau, who for a single meal sold his birthright. We can go to now we're starting to see some stuff going on. And we can go to Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 7:2. This was the one, see how I skipped earlier? But because of whoring, let each one have his own wife, and let each woman have her own husband. Let the husband render to his wife what is her due, and likewise also the wife to her husband. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. And likewise, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. That one right there, 1 Corinthians 7, 4. Man, there's a lot of people within Christendom that really like to twist that out. And even within like atheists, they really like to twist that. They never complete the verse. You got to finish. You got to read ahead and beyond. You got to read a few verses before and a few verses after to understand. You can't cherry pick single verses. Just, you can't. It doesn't work that way. And then we'll finish off with Esau and his whoring with Exodus 34:16 to the front of the books. 34:16. 34:16. Yes, that was 34:16. My handwriting was small. And 34:16. And you take of his daughters for your sons, and his daughters whores. Sorry, let's reread that. 34:16. And you take his daughters for your sons, and his daughters whore after their mighty ones, and make your sons whore after their mighty ones. Do not make a molded mighty one for yourselves. So, have no other gods. Have no other gods but God. That's gonna come up later on in Exodus. Whoring. When you start bowing down to other deities, you are whoring. You're being adulterous against Yahweh. Keep that in mind. As we see Esau, he's being led by other nations. He's following he's whoring with other nations, and they will get him to bow down to other mighty ones. Yahweh does not want that. But we will finish there. We will pick up next week with 27. I truly hope you enjoyed this week's readings. I hope you enjoyed the wonderful weather we have. It's approximately 60-something degrees today. We're going to have a high of 70, which is really nice. There's no rain. That comes tomorrow. But this is such a wonderful place to just sit and read the word with y'all. And as always, I hope you are reading along, that you're not just listening to my words, but you're reading along. That way you can see what's in this book. And with that, have a wonderful Shabbat. Till next week, may you have many blessings. I'm out. Peace.